Hello. All right, you guys ready to roll?
Yep.
Okay. So hello and welcome to Deadly Voices, or as Arthur would rather me say, Deadly Voices. This is our podcast at Kapuskasing District High School. And today we have the honor of speaking with someone who is not Indigenous, but who works a lot with Indigenous communities to spread joy, mental wellness, and raise the power of story through music. But before we introduce our special guest, I would like my co-hosts to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about who they are.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm 16 and a student at KDHS. I moved to Ontario when I was like 5 from BC, and then I moved up north when I was 11. I enjoy music and the outdoors.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Corey. I was born in Timmins, but I moved here very young. I'm 16 and a student at KDHS, and I enjoy being outside with my friends and family.
Welcome, Corey and Charlie. I'm excited to learn with you guys today. Today's guest is literally a ball of positive energy. You will know him from his YouTube music videos where he has hundreds of thousands of views. You will know him as Mr. World Peace. His goal is to help us all connect with each other, with the land, with ourselves through music. So, World Peace, thank you for being here with us today. We know you as World Peace, but could you tell us a little bit about who you are?
My name's Kiyan. My dad's side of the family's from Germany. My mom's dad's from Holland and her mom's from Barbados. So all my ancestors are from different countries, and my family just, lives in Sudbury. I just grew up like a regular kid, then I learned to be aware of my mind and emotions and the present moment, and I just started focusing on my own inner happiness. And once I got it, I started pushing it out in my music and just in my actions and just in my conversations every day. So I just keep going every single day, because every day's World Peace Day. Every day's a good day to be alive.
Awesome, I like that.
I have a question. Have you always wanted to be a musician?
Yeah. Oh yeah, when I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a rapper, but nobody put a microphone in front of me and said you could do it. Nobody gave me that push to actually do it until I learned to not let my mind suck me in, so that any doubt that popped up doesn't even matter to me. So I just started doing it immediately. Right when I learned to be aware of my mind, it was like the first thing I did was I became a rapper. I'm like, I'm gonna be a rapper. First thing I did, and then it was sweet.
You always seem so full of energy. Do you have times when you're feeling down, or how do you cope with that?
No times down, because every day we're just dependent on Mother Earth for food, water, shelter. I've never went hungry. I've never had no running water. I'm super grateful, right? So to be down when I have all the basics all the time, I can't even fathom that, just because I'm so grateful just to be able to take a deep breath, just for the fact it's sunny today, just to be here right now. I'm just grateful all the time. So I program my mind to just look at the good in life. I'm aware of my emotions. So if I ever feel heavy emotions, or I don't like saying bad or negative or sad emotions, I like saying heavy or slow or intense or, exhausted emotions. I like saying those words, because then they point to your emotions beyond positive or negative. It's just how you feel. And then once you just feel a certain way, you just accept it. So I don't have bad days, quote unquote. I just, have some days, I might wake up and I might be tired, but I'm not gonna overthink about it and come up with some bad story about why I'm tired and why life's so bad. I'm just gonna go on my mission.
That's so good, right? Just really grounding yourself with gratitude. And you're right, we label positive and negative feelings all the time. And being tired doesn't have to be negative. It's just, grounding yourself with who you are and how you're feeling that day. Yeah. So,
or if you for instance, I have a lot of social media, right? I'm on all these different platforms. I post a lot. Some days I'll wake up in the morning, check my notifications, because the first thing I'll do is I'll start posting. I post videos from the day before, share pictures, whatever, and I go on there, check the notifications, and the first thing is just some hater. You know what I mean? Just hating on me. You know what I mean? Not you know what I mean? Just hate. It's holy man. And then some days, you might wake up and it's 10 of them in a row. It's somebody had a whole conversation while you were sleeping, just about just being haters, right? So stuff like that, may trigger you a little bit. You might read that, quickly, and I just feel emotions, right? But I'm not gonna like let it ruin my day. I'm just gonna like take a deep breath and embrace how I feel, like whatever, you know what I mean? It's just emotions. I'm not gonna say I feel bad. I'm gonna like point to like the actual feeling, like you might feel like a wave of heavy energy come over your body, but I'm just gonna, go drink my coffee and start my day, like I'm not gonna let anything stop me. And out in the world, right, anything could randomly happen, and it could trigger your mind, start racing, then shoot emotions in your body. Same thing. Like I'm not gonna let this world like, affect my inner peace, Can't let that, No, I'm dead serious. Like I say it like a joke, but I'm so serious. Like when I learned about this, I just put it into effect, and I'm never having a bad day.
Where did you learn about it?
Just read a book called The Power of Now. I read a book called The Power of Now, talked about being aware of your mind and emotions and not taking them personally. And I read a book called The Slight Edge that talked about how your everyday actions will compound over time to bring you to either success or failure. So make the right habits. It's up to you to make these habits. So I started making positive habits, and around that time, in The Power Now, obviously talks about living in the now. So I started living in the present moment, and that's when immediately I'm like, I'm gonna be a rapper. No doubt is gonna stop me from being a rapper, right? And I know that no one else's opinion is gonna affect me doing what I want to do. So I just, started giving her, and then I made everyday habits. And then around that time, I decided, I'm just gonna do things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy playing basketball. I enjoy working out. So I like make sure to throw these things into my day. I enjoy taking deep breaths. Back then, I was working at Costco at the time. But even before that, I was starting to realize that in this world, right, it's up to you of, what you do. So I was working this job. I was literally shoveling dirt in a mine with a respirator on. I got nickel rash all over my face. And me and my brother, we'd always go to parties, right? We'd always go get all dressed up, go out to these house parties, when we were teenagers. And one day my brother's like, "You look sick, man." And I looked in the mirror and it was like, I don't know if you know what a nickel rash is. It's literally like a rash on the whole side of your face. It was like, you know what I mean? It was just nasty, right? And I'm like, damn. And I went to work, I think the next day, and they wanted me to stay late on a Friday, and I just quit. I'm like, I'm never going to be a slave again. I'm never going to be a slave. So after that, I would work like afternoon jobs, different things like that. Then when I decided I'm going to be a rapper, I was like, I'm doing this, and I just gave her and just kept pushing every single day. What was the question? I don't even remember. I got sidetracked.
Like,
I actually wanted to talk to you about those books. Do you know who wrote them?
Oh yeah, the books. Perfect. So Eckhart Tolle wrote The Power of Now, and then The Slight Edge, I don't know who wrote it. My neighbor just lent it to me, and I forgot to give it back to him. I still have it to this day. I tried reaching out to him, but I can't get a hold of him. Because in the book, he wrote, "Give me my book back." Like, he wrote, "Don't forget to give me the book back." So I read it. I was like, oh. So that book, I don't know. Then there's another book. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's like a really good book. It's a weird title. Whoever came up with the title, I don't know. But it's just cool. It talks about literally giving appreciation, genuine appreciation. I genuinely appreciate you guys. You guys have sick hairdos, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
I know all the girls dig the hair. They always want to play with your hair, you know what I mean? I just know that's just how it is, I appreciate you being out here smiling so sunny, you know what I mean? I appreciate you guys having me. That's just all genuine appreciation, you know what I mean? So I just learned to give genuine appreciation all the time. I'll walk into a store. This morning I went into the Esso, and the guy's name, they got a name tag. I'm always like, "Thank you so much, Rav, for the work you do." The guy's name was Rav. He's like, "Oh, I seen you on YouTube," right? He was like, it was kind of cool. But I just, I like to give appreciation. When you pull up in the Timmy's drive-thru, this is a trick. I don't know if anybody knows this, but when you pull up, you can literally, they can hear you. The second you pull up, have you ever worked at Timmy's?
No.
Everybody with a headset on can hear you the second you pull up. So it's not you know what I mean? It's when you're "Everybody be quiet back there, we're about to order," they can hear every word you say. So I pull up always, and I'm always like, "Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo, thank you for the work you do." Shout out to everybody in there working hard. If you don't have a headset on, or if somebody doesn't have a headset on, go tell them, you know what I mean? I always do that because I'm like, why not? These people are in here working hard. I'm about to get a coffee and some food. I'm about to not have to cook or do anything, just tap a card and eat, you know what I mean? So thank you, just stuff like that. So that book is a good book. And then I just started implementing that. And then there's a book called A New Earth by the same author that did Power Now. It's Eckhart Tolle, that's the guy. I recommend these books, all these books. That one taught me to clear my mind. So the little trick is, were you here yesterday when I did the little zoom out trick?
No, I was not here.
Okay, I need you guys all to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Now I need you just to zoom out of your body and just look down on yourself. Now zoom out and see this room here. Zoom out to KDHS, zoom out to CAP, zoom out to Ontario, to Canada, zoom out to the world, and see the world spinning in front of you. Now take a deep breath and feel the earth breathe with you. Now just open your eyes, and we're just right here in the present moment, dependent on Mother Earth for food, water, and shelter. That's it, right? So I didn't read that in a book. I just learned the zoom out trick and look down on yourself. But I took it to the next level, just being creative, having fun, because it's a better exercise to go all the way out, see the world. And what that little exercise does is it forces you just to clear your mind and be present. So I would always practice that. I practiced watching my mind. That's the what do they say? Watch the thinker. That was the line in the Eckhart Tolle book, The Power of Now. So I practiced watching my mind all the time. Here, I need you guys to say world peace in your head without using your mouth. And just realize that's your mind. You're aware of your mind. That's the same mind that'll race. Same mind now you know you can just program with gratitude, positivity, optimism. So I just learned to be aware of that and never take it personally. Ever. Doesn't matter. And then I just started putting positive thoughts in my head by writing positive music. So that's why all my songs are positive. I'm not going to make a sad song, because why would I? Why would I create that in my own head? It's my mental health. I'm going to make happy songs. And then I just kept practicing, working, making videos. This was in 2015, by the way. Like, when year were you guys even born?
2006.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, it's 2006. Like, I was in grade 6. But then when I learned about clearing my mind, that's when it all changed. That was like the game changer, because now it's like it doesn't matter what pops up in my head. I can just clear my mind. Before it was like I wouldn't take it personally, but then I learned how to just clear my mind through that little trick. And you can just do that in a moment's notice. You can just go like, boom. So I would just practice that all the time. I used to work at the keg. I was polishing cutlery, you know, when I learned this. And while I would be working in the back, I would just and just focus on my breath, because the breath is always with you. So that Slight Edge book, how it talks about your day-to-day actions will compound over time, I switched that to your breath-to-breath actions. And now you're just rooted in the present moment. If you lock yourself in, it's up to you to make these habits. But I just, I'm relentless, so I just did it. You know, I made it my habit. I'm really like a dedicated person. Like when I was a kid, if I got Legos, I wouldn't go to bed till like done.
Yeah, I was the same.
You know what I mean? I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing it right now. If I broke my bike, I would take it all. I'd have to fix it. You know what I mean? Or if I couldn't, I would just rip off the brakes and just go without brakes.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that. You know what I mean? But like,
I think everyone
I still
has
think
that.
my current bike, I don't think has brakes. But yeah, The Power Now by Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, The Slight Edge by whoever it is. You find it pretty easily. It was How to Win Friends and Influence People by either Dale or, I think it was Dale Carnegie. Those books are pretty solid. And The Four Agreements, I read that one too. I think the Four Agreements were don't take anything personally, always try your best, speak impeccably, like just speak, I guess, positively. And well, I don't even, you guys, have you ever read that book, The Four Agreements?
No.
Always try your best, be impeccable with your words, don't take anything personally, and I don't know, it doesn't matter. I recommend that book too. It's a real quick read. And The Alchemist, that was, I
read The Alchemist, yeah.
Who's going to be listening to this? Like,
Hopefully lots of students and
like
teachers.
students? Okay, so, I don't, who?
Yeah.
I think more students or more teachers? No, I won't tell the secret. Should I tell this little secret?
Worst case scenario, we can cut it out.
Yeah.
No, it's not that bad. It's
Okay,
just a little English class secret that I did. Okay, so in grade 7, so English, like I like math. I like, you guys are saying you do physics. I like those classes because they were like, you could like build on what you know, and you're like, oh, sick. Now I figured that out. And once you get it, you got it. It's like you got it. It's in there now, right? So English class was always like kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit excessive. Like it just goes on and on forever. You're reading Lord of the Flies. Like I don't even know. I never read it. You know what I mean? I never read any really books in school ever. I would just read the Spark Notes, right? And
Spark Notes.
that wasn't the trick, but this is what I did. The Alchemist has about 170 pages. But there's a bunch of blank pages that are numbered at the end. So it goes up to like 192. And the book had to be 200 pages in grade 7. So I was like, can I read this book, miss? It's 192 pages. And when you look at The Alchemist, it's like 65 million copies sold, like bestseller, translated in 108 languages. Like it's a super successful book. So the teacher would let me do it, right? So I read it and it's real easy to read. And the premise of the book is pretty much, there's a shepherd who has a bunch of sheep and he's sleeping in a busted up barn and he has a dream of treasure at the pyramids. So he sells all his sheep, amasses an amount of money, and he's like, I'm gonna go travel to the pyramids to get my treasure. So on his way there, he gets robbed. Then he has to start working. He starts selling crystals. He amasses another little fortune because he got real good at selling crystals. Then he keeps going. I think he gets finessed and he lost all his money again. And then he started, he joined a caravan because he was still going. He kept debating, like, well, should I go back or should I go forward? But he kept going forward. Then he joined in a caravan. He ended up in an oasis, and he ended up becoming like I don't know what the word would be, but he could like see the future or whatever. It was like, it's a cool thing. And then he ended up becoming like established there and amassed another little fortune. Then he traveled. No, he didn't really establish a fortune. He got married. I think he had a kid. I don't remember. But he's then kept going to the pyramids. And he was now with the actual alchemist, like he met the alchemist, and an alchemist turns precious or metals into gold, right? So when they're almost done their journey, he turned some metal into gold and gave him some gold. So he got another treasure. Then as he got to the pyramids, gets beat up, robbed for his gold, and while he's laying there in the hot sun, beat up, he has a dream that the treasure is actually at the pyramid at the start. And I don't really remember, this was a long time ago. I don't know if he went back and there actually was treasure, but the premise was the treasure's right here in the present moment. You know what I mean? Treasure's right here in the now. So that was the grade 7 book report. I don't even think I knew all that. I just told the story because I'm a kid. And then grade 8, I did a different book. Then grade 9 comes, right? I'm in high school. So I'm like, let me see if I can do the Alchemist again. I'm like, they let me do it, right? Then I had to go to a different school. I used to be like a wild kid, and like not like in a bad way, just like I was always like, see how I'm always jumping around singing songs? When I was a kid at school, like I'm sitting around in the classroom is not for me. So I got kicked out of one school. I went to a different school. So now I'm to the Alchemist again. So at grade 10, I did the same book report again. Then grade 11 came, and it was the same teacher, so I couldn't do it again. But she got me. She ordered the Shaq book or something. He put out a book or whatever. I used to play ball. And then grade 12, that teacher was pregnant and was out, so I did the Alchemist again. I literally did 4 book reports on the Alchemist, and I think the 4th time I did it, it really clicked that like the present moment is like life. So like even before before the other books, I read that book 4 times and did book reports on it. It's weird how the universe just like, that's like literally the only book I ever read up until I started reading when I was 19 years old. Because all the other books were just lame. I don't want to read all these books. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they should put these books that I'm talking about, like the 4 agreements. Have you read that book?
No.
It's so easy to read. It's like 150 pages. It's literally just 4 positive things and they explain it. Real easy to read. Like, I don't understand why they don't have books like that in school. They have like these story books that it's like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so The Alchemist, that's the trick, you know. You can just read it over and over. You can do the same. You can use The Alchemist because it's such a renowned book, and you can do it multiple times if you have different teachers. A little secret for you guys out there.
I wanted to ask.
Sorry about the long answer.
You've worked with a lot of First Nations to create songs with youth. Why do you think so many Indigenous communities connect with the work you're doing?
I'll be honest. Native people are lit. Just like happy people. Like, how do I explain this? I'll just use this real quick example. So, after I did my album creation program in Constance Lake, we made 12 songs and put out 2 music videos so far. Right after I finished like mixing the album out, when the music videos were still being edited, I'm like, I'm gonna reach out to different communities just to like let them know this what I do. You want to hire me? Here's my, this is my information, right? And I'm telling you, call places on like a Friday at like 10 o'clock, and they're like, oh yeah, you just missed them all. It was payday, so they got paid, and they went to the city. They had to do some shopping. You know what I mean? It's like half the staff just like took Friday off, right? Yeah. And just that energy to me is just that's good, because it's like we're not saving lives out here. Like if you're a doctor actually saving lives out here, like that's one thing. But most people are not saving lives out here. You know what I mean? Like, why do we need to be slaves? You know what I mean? Just like that kind of energy, And like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like little things like that. It's just like, and it's just known. Like I remember I called the one place and it was like at 12. And the lady that answered, she was like, "Oh yeah, no one's here today. It's Friday." Like they you know what I mean? So she's like, "Yeah, sometimes people just come in, they pick up their paycheck, they do a couple things, and they go out. They take the weekend early, right?" And I used to live on Manitoulin Island also. So on Manitoulin Island, there's 6 reserves. There's Zabazing, Shishagwaning, Shagawinda, Ondek-Omnakaning, Wikwimakong, and Chigang. And then right off the island, there's Birch Island, then there's Sagamuk just around the corner. So there's 8 reserves, and I used to live like right in the middle of all these reserves. Just my uncle had like a cottage, campground rental business, and I just worked out there. And I just, so I've been all these reserves just because they were so close. And then Sudbury has 2 reserves, then south of Sudbury there's 4 more reserves. Then when you go to North Bay, there's another reserve. And then when I went up to Timmins, there's a reserve on the way to Timmins. And it's just, you know what I mean? I really just, my clothing line just brings me wherever anybody places an order, right? So I feel like a lot of people don't go to reserves because they're off the beaten path. Some of them have dirt roads, you know, like, you know, you just see a dirt road, you're like, why would I just go down a dirt road? But like for me, like if somebody orders a hoodie, right, like an hour and a half away, how would I not? I'll just go deliver. I've never been to this reserve. Let's go pull up. You know what I mean? They want me to come there. Even one person wants a hoodie, so I've just been to so many reserves. It's ridiculous. And then this year, I had just different communities reach out to me, and late last year, I started this program where I perform for an hour, and then I make a music video and a song from scratch with the kids with all their lyrics. And I came up with that because one of the communities, this is exactly what happened. I delivered a hoodie. I'm singing a song, shooba-dooba-doobing it up, and it just happened to be right in front of the band office. So all the staff of the band office came out and they were like filming because it was me, a mom, and then 2 or 3 kids just jumping around the parking lot for 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like just having fun, right? So they're like, oh, this guy, you know what I mean? Like see what he's about, right? But I'm like, how do I explain it? Like I'm very forward. I'm very like, I push, I'm going every day. So I seen in the corner of my eye while this was all going on, they were filming. So I went over there and I was like, hey, can I get that footage? You know, I made sure to give them all cards, you know what I mean? I think one of them got a hoodie or a couple of them got a hoodie, right? And then a couple of days later, I get a phone call saying, hey, we'd like to book you to work with the kids. And I at the time, I just did my performances. I'm like, I could perform, you know? And then they were like, what could you do for longer? Like 3 hours. Make a song and music video from scratch. Like I can do that. And they're like, really? You can do that in 2 hours? Like, yeah, no, I can do it in 15 minutes. But it was just like that, you know? So I just did it just because they wanted me to do something, right? And then once I did it, I was like, oh, well, now I have this program, right? It worked perfectly. It worked flawlessly. And then just other communities reached out. And then I created an album creation program because I realized, like, you know, if you guys make music, we can make a whole album in a weekend. You can make a bunch of songs, make all the beats, you know, come up with a bunch of positive songs. So I just keep pushing it out there, letting everybody know. And I don't know, man. I just feel like
I heard one at Beaver House and I loved it. Was like all
being alive.
Yeah.
I love being alive. And then a little girl said, I'm grateful for my culture. I'm
Yes.
grateful for my culture.
And there was an apple juice is cool.
Apple juice is cool, and so is going to school.
That's
I'm telling you,
right.
all the
Yeah.
kids wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah,
They wrote
it was
every
awesome.
single lyric.
Yeah.
When I was in Constance Lake, the kids wrote all the lyrics. The first day we made 3 songs, second day we did 3 songs. I did some of the verses because some of the kids were shy, but then the third day they made 5 songs. I wasn't even in any of them. They had all gone more and more confident, and I got better at like pushing because you know what I mean. Imagine if I hung out with you for like 3 days straight. On the third day, you know what I mean. After we made all these songs, you know what I mean. Now like I'm like, come on, it's real easy. I'm like, we already made this many songs, bro. All you got to do is just write a couple words, you know. So like, a couple kids finally like joined in that were there the whole weekend but never did anything. So I don't know, just. This is like a sub thing, but I feel like Native culture is going to take over Canada.
Yeah.
And why I say that is because, let's be honest, right? The younger generation, do you guys go to church? Do you know anybody that goes to church? Even the kids that go to Catholic school.
Yeah, I know one.
I know one. I know one.
I only
That's
know
what I mean. You know what I mean? And even you. Do you know how many people do you know that are adults that go to church?
Yeah, not a lot.
That's what I mean. There's old, like, you know, like 80-year-olds are going, but if you notice, there's getting less and less churches. Less people are going to church. They're closing down because the kids aren't going. When the old people pass away, it's like it's empty, right? They're not going to keep holding church for 6 people, right? So they have to go to different churches. So there's less and less church activity. And Native culture, once you experience it, is so pure. And I just feel like once more and more people experience it, I feel like there's like a spiritual void. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Regular adults, I don't know what this is for everybody, but a lot of people just, like, go to work, have their family, you know, they might drink beer on the weekend, they might go snow machining with their friends, they might go fishing, but, like, spiritual culture, like, I feel like there's no real culture, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no real spiritual culture, and I just feel like, you know, Native culture is just gonna, like, blow up because of the lack of, like, spiritual culture right now in Canada, you know? Yeah, and it's just so pure, like, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, first powwow I went to, there's a sign, no drugs and alcohol. Just right on the front, you know what I mean? Think about in the city, man. Every event, you put everything that goes on in the city, there's alcohol. There's always selling beer at everything. And there's no one saying you can't be on drugs here, you know what I mean? You just can't be acting like a fool. But when you go to the powwow, no drugs and alcohol. Go in a sweat lodge, there's no sign, but it's like you can't be on, you know what I mean? Like all these different cultures, or I mean all these different like different ceremonies that I've attended, it's always no drugs and alcohol, or you hear about, oh, you can't be on drugs and alcohol. So like even like I have a friend, you know where Nipigon is? It's right.
Yep.
So
by Thunder Bay.
Yeah, so it's Red Rock. It is like the reserve there, and my buddy, his name's Ted. He works in the band office. I don't know exactly what his position is, but he's kept on saying we have a healthy community, healthy. I'm like, what the heck do you mean, healthy community? You know, I'm like, what the heck? I live in Sudbury. Like, I live, like, literally 5 minutes. Like, from here to, like, the circle, right? That's, like, how far is it from the circle? 5 minutes, you know?
Like 5 minutes, yeah.
That's how close I am to, like, the soup kitchen downtown Sudbury, where there's, like people are zombies. It's trippy stuff. They're people, but, like, when you see them walk around, they look like zombies, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people on drugs, right? And it's really, really trippy. It's a trippy thing, you know what I mean? So I realized that the energy of the culture is just it's really powerful. So my buddy Ted, he was explaining to me, because I asked him like how the heck do you have such a healthy community out there?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck do you mean? He said, there's not a lot of drugs and alcohol in our community. I'm like, how? He's like, oh, leadership and culture. I'm like, no. I'm like, give me a real answer. Like, I can't tell you leader. How do you stay off drugs, leadership, and culture? It's like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, but I'm like, give me an answer, right? And he was like, there's full moon ceremonies that go on every month. And a full moon ceremony, I don't know what it is, but I know it's a women-based ceremony. The women do it. And he said the women in the community started doing full moon ceremonies every month. And the women are the foundation of the community. They healed the kids. And then the men were just forced to step up. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And he said they kind of ended up being like a monthly AA meeting. That was some, like, paraphrasing, but similar to that's kind of what he said, right? And it made sense though. Like, imagine if like think about a small community where there's like less than 1,000 people, right? If 10 women get together, that's almost like every family has some, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's cousins and stuff. It's like the grandmother, you know, that means like there's, you know what I mean? There's 25 people underneath her, right? If she goes, couple grandmas, couple moms, you know, now like every week, you know, that energy is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and then the ripple effect happened. And like, so I've been telling people that I've never experienced it. I just took his word for it because it made sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, just like stuff like that. I don't know. Like, did you ask a question or not? Am I just? No, I think I'm just going off, man.
Yeah, you're good.
No, it's true though, because the more culture is coming back into communities, the healthier and stronger they're becoming, right?
Seriously. And that right there, after he told me that, I talked to different communities and I would ask, like, do you guys do monthly full moon ceremonies? Mm-hmm. And a lot of First Nation communities don't.
I feel like that'd be the perfect way to connect with people around you, because in order to like stop drinking, you need a reason. Yeah. And there's no better reason than the people around you.
Mm. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So it's trippy because in the cities, like, I don't know, like you guys are in Kapuskasing. Like, Kapuskasing is like a healthy community, actually. Kapuskasing is super healthy. I'm telling you, man, people are like, you spend a lot of time up here? Are you from here?
No, I'm from Kirkland Lake. Yeah, I come up every, like, I don't know, month. Come hang out with these guys. I'm
telling you, up here, it's like, it's different. People are like real healthy up here. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, everyone's outside. Snow machine, fishing. Like, I've never been up here in the summer, but I feel like in the summer, nobody's in the city. Everyone's just always in the bush. Oh, yeah. The city's like a ghost town.
I live at Remy Lake, right? So I work at the provincial park in the summer, and it's always full. No matter what, it's always full. Mm. There's like, I think 80-something campsites with like people from all over the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like connection to land.
Is that towards Moonbeam? Or
yeah, towards Moonbeam there.
Wow. That's cool. What do you do there?
Maintenance. I like mow the lawns and stuff.
Shout out to you, bro. Yeah. That's literally what I did in Manitoulin Island with my uncle.
And you were talking about being nice to like people who are working. And when I was working, that was the best thing. When I'd like, I don't know, pick up their firewood or something, be like, thank you, man. And they shake my hand, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Aww.
It made it all worth it, you know?
That's cool. We're going to edit that out. Edit out
the bell,
yeah. Do you have a couple more questions, guys?
More questions.
Oh yeah, how do your like friends and family, like your close friends, how do they like react if you like traveling all around and like talking to different people and stuff like that?
Do they have an opinion about what you're doing?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like when I started reading these books, I was working at Costco and then I started working at the Keg because one day I was pushing buggies at Costco and I seen across the street there was a bikini car wash at the keg, so I'm like, I'm gonna go work there. Switching jobs, and I literally, on my way to work every day, I would drop off a resume. Every day, I worked 5 days a week, 5 days a week, I would drop off a resume. After a couple of weeks, I got the job. So I switched over there. I didn't even answer the question. Okay. I started on some stupid story, but so I was working these jobs, right? And then I decided, no, what happened is did I ever give you guys a World Peace card?
No.
Okay, so these cards, I'll grab one after, but the World Peace cards started off, they were blank, and they just said World Peace. No number, no name, no social media, nothing. So I gave them 65,000 of those right at the exact time when I learned to clear my mind. I learned to clear my mind, and like literally one of the first things I did was go to Staples and start spending all my savings on these cards just to hand them out to people. Because let's be honest, you guys all just seen what happened with COVID. They literally just like inflated everything out the years. Prices through the roof. They printed all this money. Money's not back by nothing. It's the biggest joke ever. I was aware of that before when it wasn't as obvious. It was still obvious, but I tried to avoid the money system. I really did. So I was just like, I would see what happens. Like, I'm not worried, right? And I just gave out my cards, shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo, did up, sing songs, posted my videos. And then I ran out of money around the same time my uncle had a heart attack. So I went up to Manitoulin and I worked with him. I made no money, spent no money. I just lived up there for 2 years helping my grandma and uncle out with their campground business. And then when I came back, so like why I'm saying that is because like my uncle, he was supportive. He was like, yeah, come on up, you know what I mean? Because he needed help. You know what I mean? Like, I'm up there. Sweet. I live in the bush. That's where I practice all my music. My dad was kind of like, he was always like, he was like, oh, you should probably get a little job so you can have money to buy equipment. Like, my dad was supportive because he when he was younger, like, he traveled a lot. He went to Europe for a couple years, Like, when he was 17, there was a teacher strike. He literally just dropped out of school because there was a teacher strike, and he went to Alberta and started just working on the oil rigs. And back in the day, like, my dad's old. He passed away now, but he would be like, I think 62 or something. He saved up like 10 grand. He worked out there for a year, saved up 10 grand back in like in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine saving up 10 grand now in 1 year, living at your own house. You know what I mean? Like, he saved up 10 grand on the other side of the country. You know what I mean? Back in the 70s, right? Came back, bought a car. Do. And so my dad, like, he went out to Europe. He actually moved to California and started working in a recording studio at one time. So my dad was a real social person. He'd always talk to everybody all the time. Mm-hmm. So my dad, like,
so it's genetic.
Yeah, my dad's lit, He literally went to California to work in a recording studio and ended up working in a top-notch recording studio with like top-notch artists. Like, he was in the control room with Gene Simmons, while they were making the music. You know what I mean? Like my dad was like, he was in it, but then he had no visa and stuff, so they kicked him out. But like, so my dad was supportive, but he would always like get on me because like I never like had a job or anything, and I was not trying to make no money at the time at all, right? I was just like, nah. So he was supportive, but he would just always like, he would say, you should probably get a job so you could buy the equipment. I'm like, I don't need no equipment. Like, I already bought the equipment. I still use the same equipment that I had since 2015, a keyboard, computer, whatever. And then my mom, my mom's real, like, she's the nicest person ever, But she would always say, oh, you should go to school, dude. And I'm like, nah. Now she doesn't bug me no more, because I'm just like, I'm doing good, But after I was on the island, I had to come back. And when I came back, my mom started charging me rent. Oh. I was like 22, you know what I mean? And I was like, damn, I tried to avoid this nonsense money system, but there's no avoiding it now. So it was only $300, right? So I'm not getting a job. So I Googled like how to make money as a musician. And I literally immediately started my clothing line because it allows me to promote world peace. You need a sweater, you need a sweater, you need a sweater. And I need to make a living, so it's a win-win-win. So I literally immediately spent every penny I had on a bunch of hoodies and started my clothing line. Like, I had to convince my mom to let me use her credit card because I didn't even have a credit card at the time. But that's how the clothing line started. And then I put on a show in town, and then I went on tour across Canada. And I've been on tour 3 times now across Canada, and I still live in my mom's house because like I'm like, if I didn't live with my mom, I'd never see her. I literally would never see my mom. I would always be out here, Because like I'm going back to Sudbury today. I'm going to go to my mom's house where my grandma also lives. She moved in because she's getting old, right? If I didn't live with them, I would literally go home and I would just keep working and I would never see them. It'd be like, hey, hi, and then not see them for a month. Like, so it's kind of like, it's cool. Like, my mom's super cool. I live with my grandma too and my uncle. So my grandma and uncle are cool. My dad's cool. Everybody's cool. And like now my mom, like, she gets it now. You know what I mean? Because like from me starting my clothing line and just like keep moving forward, like I always paid her. You know what I mean? The rent and when I was out of town, if I'm out of town for like 3 months, she doesn't even matter. You know? I'm just like having fun, you know. It's super cool, right? So my family's definitely supportive, and yeah, that's
Awesome.
pretty much it. You know, a long story for.
Yeah, it's all good.
I wanted to ask, what is your creative process like? How do you begin with making new music?
Is there a piano in here?
I think there's one in the auditorium. Is it still in here?
I don't think it's in there.
Okay, check this out. So, do you guys know music at all?
A little bit, I know.
I did band in like.
You know the C major chord?
Yeah.
C,
Yeah.
E, and G? Whatever. I don't know if that's the right note, but every song I make is in C. Every single one. I really don't care about the music. The music just has to be dancey and fun. It's all, for me, it's just, I need to like come up with something positive to say on the song. Either I have an idea, and then it's real easy. If I know what the song's gonna be, I just go in there, you know what I mean? If it, like the I'm So Happy song, I made the beat on the phone with some girls from a university in Buffalo. I met them down in Fort Erie, and then we did a TikTok video or something. Then they called me randomly, like two of these girls. I think they're in a university dorm, and they were just like, "Oh, World Peace." Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm in the studio right now, like, yo, what should I make? You know, I'm always working all the time. So I'm like, what should I make? They're like, make a beat like this, and they sent me they sent me some song, right? And I made my own version of it. It was like a disco tech dance song, and the beat was so happy. And the computer crashed, and I lost the beat, so I had to the I'm So Happy beat. There's literally a better beat that existed, but I lost it. Like, way better. It's way better. Like, you know what I mean? It's way better of a beat. And I remember I remade it right after, and I was like, damn, this ain't as good. So I never even made a song on it. I just left it on my computer. And then, like, a couple months later, you know, I was out of town, and then I came back, and I'm like, hey, I gotta make a song, right? So I went on my computer. And at this time, I was really focusing on making my songs to perform, you know, to make it real easy for people to be involved, real catchy. I was working with different song structures. So I pulled up this beat, and I'm like, I am so happy. And I just made the song like that. But that's like a rarity. Most of my songs are like, I sit down with the intent of making a song and finishing a song. So I'm putting out an album on the 9th. Every Easter, every Christmas, Big Jesus, you know, I put out an album every year since 2016. Since literally I started every year. So I'm gonna have to go home, and I'm gonna have to make like maybe 10 songs in the next week, just because I need to put out an album. You know what I mean? Because I tell myself every Easter. So I'll sit down, keyboard, and I'll pull up some sound or whatever. If it's a drum, I don't care the note. If it's an instrument, it's C. 100% of the time it's C. So the C, those notes you can play like. Now with that you got. Now we got a beat. So now I'm like, hey, what's the song? I mean, I'll just mumble. I'm so great. See, I'm thinking I'm so grateful, but I just made a song called I'm So Grateful, so I can't do that. So it'd be like. I don't know, I just come up with something like, I like coffee in the morning, I like coffee in the morning, you know what I mean? I don't know. Then I record that a couple times, I layer up the vocals like heavy, you know, on the chorus, you gotta like layer up the vocals heavy. I've always watched YouTube videos. One day I seen a video with Pharrell, and he was working with a bunch of kids in a school, and they showed him his song, and he was like, layer the vocal 5 times on the chorus. So I was like, next time I made a song, I layered the vocals 5 times on the chorus, just because I seen a video of Pharrell. And Pharrell, you know Pharrell, he makes bangers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would I not listen to this guy?
Probably the best producer.
You know what I mean? Like, literally. So Pharrell, just like little tips like that. I just like to see videos. You know, you guys on TikTok, right? They always have like you flip through, and like it'll be a 30-second little tip, right? So right now there's a tip I haven't even tried. Have you ever heard of FL Studio? It's like a music program. So it's a program where you make music. So the new trick that I learned in the last couple of days that I haven't used yet is if you right click on a specific thing, I think you might have to press shift. I forget exactly what it is, but it'll create an automation, and then you can automate the effects. I didn't know it was that easy. So I just kind of mess around with the effects too, you know what I mean? And what I like to do is I like to record the chorus, then I structure the chorus out however the song's gonna be structured. Then the verses are like way easier than the chorus. The chorus has to be like big. The verses are like, if you really listen to the song a lot, you'll remember it, but you know, it's just a verse, you know? So I make the verses, then I put the backgrounds, and then once it's all recording, I like unplug the mic, and I don't like to add any more recording. So if I listen and there's like a mess up, I put effects on it. I do some something cool to make it cool because I like to like switch from being the artist recording to now I'm like producing the song, you know, mixing and mastering it. And then, yeah, that's how I kind of make my songs. I just kind of make them super quick.
Do you do it all on your own, or do you work with anyone?
Oh, I do it all on my own. Super easy. The videos, I started hiring people to make the videos because it takes forever. So, like, there's going to be new songs. So it's like, I'm so grateful every single day. I'm so grateful every single day. So I made that song right before I came up to Cap, and I forgot to put it up. Like, I literally made the artwork, posted the picture of the artwork, forgot to upload it. So I've been telling everybody, oh, this song's unreleased. You know, like, look, this thing's unreleased just because I literally forgot to put it out. So I shot all the music video in Cap, just all around Cap, just randomly. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm literally going to take all this footage and just send it to somebody, hire somebody, pay them. They're going to edit all the video up, and then you'll see the video. The video will be out soon. It'll be me and a bunch of people all from Cap, all around Kapuskasing. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really just like, it's like, you guys might as well play basketball, you know?
Yeah.
If you shoot 1,000,000 shots, you know, you get a lot in, you know? If you only shoot 2 shots, you know, you might miss both of them, you know what I mean? So that's why I just make music. And another reason why I make music so fast is because I started off making music on the FL Studio free demo where you couldn't save your projects. You could only export them. So you pretty much had to finish them. Well, I had to because my computer, it was so old and busted that the battery didn't work. And if the power went out, you would lose it. If you let it sit for too long, it might overheat and you lose it. If somebody closes the screen, you lose it. So every time I sit down now, I bought the program when I first got hired to do that album creation program. I used the money to buy the program because it's like now I'm hired to make music with kids. I'm gonna buy the program so I can save, so that will never happen ever again. I can always have the save, right? Control S. So I would sit down and now I need to make the beat. I used to make the beat, save the beat. Now I got one MP3 just the beat. Then I pull the beat up and then record the song. And then now I can take out the beat and take out the lyrics and put them back in and then mix it up and then finish it, right? But I would do that all in one sitting, you know, because I don't want the computer to crash, you know what I mean? So I would just do it all right there, hit save and then release it right away. That's how I make all my music. Now I can I have the luxury that we can make a song here, we can record all the vocals, and then I'll bring it to my house and I'll put it on my computer, put it on my sound system, and then mix and maybe even switch the 808, you know? So the song I'm So Grateful, there's 6 versions of it. The first version, the vocals were too quiet. Second version, I turned them up, but the hi-hat was too quiet. Then this clap was too quiet. Then the bass was too muddy. Like when I say muddy, all the notes blended together. So then I switched the bass, and then the bass still wasn't loud enough, so I cranked the bass up. And then now with the bass, as I'm saying, I'm so grateful every single day. The bass boom, 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 boom. So it hits, it punches through while the hi-hats and claps are going. So yeah, my music process I make songs really fast. It's really just about a positive mantra, a positive message that I want to get out there. And then the rest of the song, once I come up with that, song's done. I just hit spacebar, record, done, and put it out. You know.
It's awesome.
I wanted to ask, do you have any advice for the youth?
Watch your mind, be present, be aware of your mind and emotions. Don't take them personally. Keep your mind clear. Just practice being present and positive and happy. Because your inner peace is up to you, no one else. Seriously, this world's wild. Think about how many kids go to school. There's all these schools here. There's probably 1,000 kids around here. You know what I mean? They're doing crazy stuff all the time. You know, bullies going on. This is happening. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what kids are dealing with these days, but if you let other stuff affect your inner peace and happiness and affect your actions, and now you're just being pushed and pulled around by the surroundings around you, I feel like it'd be real trippy, you know?
Oh, yeah,
it'd be real trippy to not be in control of your own life and your own happiness and inner peace. So I just when I learned this stuff, I just rooted myself into my own happiness and inner peace. And then now I just want everybody to love life so that they could, create their own peace bubbles around them. I feel like world peace is easy, we just all need to be peaceful and create our own peace bubbles, but some people, I guess, aren't,
Yeah.
Some of these world leaders, I guess, running stuff that I don't know what they're doing over there. But yeah, no, I'd be aware of your mind, be aware of your emotions, breathe, be present, clear your mind, do things you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Be a good person, spread good energy everywhere you go, wave to people, shake hands, look in the eyes, do good business, work hard. Be consistent.
Be a good human.
Stay hydrated, be a good human, eat your vegetables. Stay in school, kids.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, we have a little way of ending our podcast. We do a little rapid fire.
Oh.
Where really what we want to do at the end of a podcast is try to have like a call to action. So like try to get our listeners to hopefully want to learn more, want to do more. So I'm wondering, is there something or someone that you think we should be listening to right now, other than you?
How did you all look to say? Go stream my music.
Apart from you,
Do you want me to answer these fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something or someone that we should be listening to right now.
Like music or people
Could
or
be anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you had advice for
One thing or like
yeah,
multiple?
one thing.
The only one?
Yep.
Read those books.
Okay.
I wouldn't watch the audiobooks because when I check them out there, it's like a robot reading them.
I don't like audiobooks.
Yeah, me either. I like reading the actual book because in audiobook you fall asleep or you're driving, you're listening, you don't pay attention. So I would read books. Read The Power Now, read A New Earth, read The Slight Edge, read How to Win Friends and Influence People, read The Four Agreements, read. I read the Donald Trump book. It's super sick. It talks about like these huge $200 million deals. It's just perspectives, right? If you read books, I like reading nonfiction books, so I'd say read nonfiction books. But if you want to say listen, I don't know, like In the Club by 50 Cent has a pretty sweet beat. I don't know. We're talking music or what? I don't know.
Yeah, that's all good.
I'm trying to think music. KRS-One's pretty sweet. He's like an old school rapper.
Okay.
His first album I think was called Stop the Violence or something like that. He's from like the 80s. Okay, well,
What's one thing we could do today? So you're
take a deep breath.
good. No, that's good.
Sorry I cut you off.
No, that's good. That's
I didn't
what we
take a
want.
deep breath.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Yeah. So just trying to ground ourselves and take a deep breath.
Take 10 deep breaths, you know?
Awesome. And so where are you off to after this? What's next?
Only 2 rapid fire? I thought it was rapid fire.
Well, yeah, it's just to get a call to action. So all our listeners, we want
Start read nonfiction books. Like I don't know, read your fiction books if you want, but I feel like nonfiction books that like imagine like a 60-year-old old woman that did this, that, and that decides to write a book about all the stuff she did and condense it into 200 pages, and you read it. Think about all the stuff you would learn.
Yeah.
That's what a nonfiction book is a lot of times. Like sometimes they're not good, they're real boring, you know. But sometimes they're real boring and they're real good, and you have to read them. Like there's a book I just read called Measure What Matters. It talks about objectives and key results. So objectives would be like having a super successful podcast, and then the key results would be like have 100 episodes, have like key guests with over 100,000 subscribers on Instagram. I don't know, you know what I mean? Have high quality audio recordings on every platform, and then the other key result would be to have high quality videos of the recordings on all the different platforms. So you'd have 4 key results to achieve your big objective. So that's what the book is about, but it's real boring. Like it talked about all these different companies and how they did it, and I always read before I go to bed, and I'm just like, I read a page, fall asleep. I finally read it after like a month and a half.
Do you have objective and key results? Have you figured that out for yourself?
Yeah. So like there's a lot though, like lots.
Like what's something you hope to achieve?
Well, the thing is, world peace, we need world peace out here. So I feel like world peace, though, it's a weird thing because, how do I explain this? The objectives and the key results, sometimes, like, there's not a direct correlation. Because, like, world peace is, like, I can't control you. I can't control anybody. I can't control Vladimir Putin. I can't control, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
These elite people that are above the presidents or prime ministers that you don't even know who they are. You can't control anybody, right? So, I feel like I'm just trying to like promote the peace, love, and happiness so that people can be at peace with themselves, so that they are doing good in their lives, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to ripple effect it out there, you know what I mean? So like music wise, like I feel like music's a very powerful, very, very, very powerful tool. So like key results for my music is like having like I think it was 20 videos with 1 million views. It was do my album creation program, I think 20 times. I'm just off the top of my memory. And then the other one was, I don't even remember. Where's my phone? Oh yeah, shout out to my Uncle Bob. Okay, so where's my, it's right there, it's on. But my Uncle Bob, he passed away last year, like about a bit less than a year ago from cancer. So anybody lost anybody with cancer, you know, rest in peace. But he was really like, you might call him a conspiracy theorist. He was a straight truth seeker. He was just like on the internet looking for what's going on in the world. He ran a campground business, so in the winter there was nothing. He was just hanging out, right? So he would just watch YouTube videos, learn stuff. And my uncle, you know, he was a really wise man, you know, and he really he made me realize a lot of stuff. So like right when I started making music, he was one of the main reasons why I was just like, you know what I mean? So like focus on it. And he calls these thumbers. So I call them thumbers just to pay homage to my uncle. Oh yeah, the other thing was like my clothing line, you know what I mean? Because like, I don't know what clothing line that is.
Just some random.
You know what I mean? But what does it say on there? New adventures live. Life is full of possibilities. Don't give up. Keep going. You will get through the darkness. See what I mean? Like that shirt. I'm pumped. You have a sick shirt on. Actually, that shirt actually has a message. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have no brand on your stuff.
No.
But like, if you have a big like Nike swoosh or like, you know what I mean? Like Adidas or what? You know, I don't know what. Those are just big brands. But if you're just Abercrombie and Finch, you literally just have two dudes' last names on your shirt. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like, once again, my uncle, he made me realize about this. Because I started my clothing line because I used to give out the cards. And I just spent all my money and it wasn't sufficient. It didn't allow me to be a part of society. So I switched over to the clothing line. And then he was like, he made me realize that by people buying World Peace Hoodies, they're supporting themselves. They're supporting their future. They're supporting a better world. And I was like, holy, I didn't even like really like, you just made me realize like a whole nother level how like your shirt right there literally has a positive message on it. Why not have like positive messages beaming out in the world? Subconsciously, more and more people will be like world peace, world peace, world peace. I don't know. I feel like it's such a big goal that like it's kind of like it's kind of a trippy thing.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Like I feel like maybe yeah, I don't know. I feel like music is a really powerful tool. You know, really, really powerful tool. Like think about all this trap music, man. Everybody wants to be a gangster. Think about this. Think about how many kids that live in Kapuskasing. You guys probably know kids that live in Kapuskasing that talk about selling drugs and shooting people on rap songs. You know what I mean? You know these kids. They go to this school. They got a $30,000 snow machine that was just given to them for free, and they rip around. You know what I mean? They're rich little kids. You know what I mean? But they're like selling drugs. I don't know, man. I just feel like music though. It's like see how it's gotten to that though. The first guys that we're talking about that were actually doing it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a weird thing. Like what I'm saying about the elite people. I don't know. You don't want to get me started on that, but like, just think about this real quick. This is like a trippy thing. Right before you guys were born, 50 Cent came out. He was like the first mainstream gangster rapper, if you think about it. Like all these other gangster rappers weren't like 50 Cent. 50 Cent was just like the biggest mainstream rapper. Like Eminem was big, but he wasn't like a gangster rapper. 50 Cent just strictly talked about just gangster like activities. And it was mainstream music though. Think about it. 50 Cent was the first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it was wholesome. Rap was kind of not mainstream. That 50 Cent literally just made it mainstream to talk about selling drugs, shooting people, pimping women and stuff. And then now it's just like been 20 years. Think about that. And that's like that's music. And kids that live in Kapuskasing make that kind of music. And I just see how like that can like influence people. So that's why I really go so hard with my music. Because I want to influence people to do positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make a better world.
Yeah.
Make a better world. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Ole.
Ole. Well, thank you for coming and being here with us. And thank you too for helping to host it, coming up with the questions. It was fun.
So are you guys doing like a bunch of interviews with a bunch of people?
Not just you.
Just you.
So everybody in the class, has a different person that they're interviewing.
Cool. So I can end this
Yeah.
live.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, when I say world, you guys say peace, world?
Peace.